Hey guys, Greg Smith here, senior recruiting analyst here at Inside Nebraska, and the Huskers got enormous news today as four-star Ainsworth tight end Carter Nelson has committed to Nebraska, and here are my three thoughts on the commitment. First things first, Nebraska won a heavyweight fight for this one. Carter had options all over the place. It's a really unique situation with a kid playing eight-man football out of Ainsworth, Nebraska, to be this level of national recruit. But Carter is definitely worthy of all of those accolades and more. He had every option on the table, like I said. He took official visits in the month of June to Georgia, Notre Dame, Penn State, and his final visit this weekend was to Nebraska, where he committed to the staff. Georgia really was thought to be kind of the front runner here after he took his official visit out there. Talking to different sources around the country, Georgia really believed that he could be Brock Bowers 2.0 or the next Brock Bowers. They're terrific tight end down there currently on the team for them. And that was part of their strong pitch, even though they had two four-star tight ends already in the class. They really wanted him in that class. Then when it comes to Notre Dame, that was a team that he was always kind of intrigued by as he went through his recruiting process. And for a long time, that was considered the leader before that Georgia trip. But Nebraska won out here, and they had a great plan for him. It has become really apparent that Nebraska has done a really nice job of kind of making headway with those in-state recruits, which is my point number two. And point two is definitely that Nebraska is keeping the best talent home. The top, I believe, four players in the state, based on our rivals' rankings, are all now committed to Nebraska. Carter Nelson, Davon Hall, Isaiah McMorris, Daniel Kalen, all committed to the Huskers, with more talent in the state that's up for grabs that Nebraska is in on as well. I think it can't be said enough the job that Matt Rule and his staff have done at kind of recovering some of these recruitments. You know, I've said on our insiders board over at InsideNebraska.com a couple of times now with some of these recent commitments from inside the state that I really don't think that any of these kids were coming here under the previous staff. So for Nebraska and Matt Rule to get back into these recruitments and shut them down during the summer before we get to the season, you got to give a huge hat tip. They've talked about wanting to make sure that, you know, keeping those best in-state players home, not looking up and seeing those guys playing elsewhere. You've got, I believe, 10 or 11 guys inside of the state that are already have scholarship offers for Nebraska for this 2024 class. You've also already got two kids that are in the 2025 class that have already committed to Nebraska, and Caden Vermass and Tyson Terry. You've got a third with an offer in that class, and Christian Jones, the top 100 linebacker out of Omaha West Side. It's a great time for Matt Rule and his staff to get to Nebraska and really make some renewed inroads with these prospects in state. Again, hat tip to those guys for really turning those recruitments around, of course, topped off by Carter Nelson this weekend. And my third take is about what Nebraska is getting on the field in Carter Nelson. And like I said earlier, it's a really unique situation to have a player coming out of eight-man football in Ainsworth, to be such a hot commodity in Power 5 football, with offers all over the country. But if you look at his stats both on the track and the football field, you'll quickly understand why, with his unique blend of athleticism and size, why he's so coveted. He's the 161st ranked player in the entire nation for rivals right now. I think that personally could go up as we draw to the conclusion of this football season. Carter is committed to playing in the All-American Bowl later on. If he goes out and shows out against elite top-level national competition, I think that will be his ticket to potentially even earning a fifth star. Like he could be that type of impact player. If you just look at his stats from eight-man last season, I mean, he passed for 663 yards and 15 touchdowns. He had 525 yards receiving and 11 touchdowns that way too. And he rushed for 761 yards and 14 scores as a junior. He is the type of hybrid do-it-all tight end that you see a lot of in college football right now, making waves. He can play in line. He's got to get used to blocking because he doesn't have to do that in eight-man, but he can play in line. He'll get better at blocking. You can put him at an H-back role. You can split him out. He's really a matchup nightmare. He will be for college football defenses out there. Now, I think that, you know, Matt Rule, Marcus Satterfield, and those guys, Bob Wager, they've got an ultimate chess piece that you can really build the offense around. Now, make sure you guys keep it locked here to the Inside Nebraska YouTube channel. Like this video up, subscribe to the feed so that you get these videos directly into your feed as well. And we will catch you guys next time.